let's just stop and think about this for a second. Imagine a world with no charging cables, no power cords, where energy is kind of just there, in the air, or maybe more accurately, in the ground right under our feet. Now, this isn't some far-off sci-fi fantasy. It's a very real idea, over 100 years old, that might just be about to change everything. And the guy behind this whole thing, well, no surprise, it was Nikola Tesla. And this quote, it just nails his whole way of thinking. He wasn't trying to make a better version of what already existed. He was dreaming up a totally new way to power the entire planet. A dream of global wireless energy that, honestly, history almost completely forgot.
So, here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with Tesla's original forgotten dream. Then we'll jump way forward to the modern tech that's making it seem possible again. After that, we'll look at a wild proposal for a new Tesla grid. And finally, we'll get real and weigh that dream against some pretty tough realities.
All right, let's dive right in. We're heading back to the turn of the 20th century to get our heads around Nikola Tesla's insanely ambitious plan. He called it a world wireless system. And this wasn't just about sending texts or anything. This was about sending raw power. And wow, things moved fast. I mean, he nails down AC power, the system we still use today, in the 1880s, and then immediately pivots to wireless. By 1899, his experiments in Colorado Springs seemed to prove his theories, which leads him to build the now famous Wardenclyffe Tower. But just as fast as it all came together, it all fell apart. The tower was demolished in 1917, and the dream seemed to die with it. So how in the world was this supposed to work? Well, the heart of Tesla's idea was something he called Earth resonance. The concept is breathtaking. He basically believed he could treat the entire planet like a giant bell. If he could ring it just right with electrical vibrations, that energy would resonate across the whole globe, and anyone, anywhere, could tap into it. Now, this is absolutely crucial to understand. Tesla was not trying to do what his big rival, Marconi, was doing. Marconi was using waves that travel through the air to send radio signals. Tesla's idea used completely different waves designed to travel through the Earth to send power. But you know how these things go. Marconi sends one little message across the Atlantic, and suddenly he's the hero. He gets all the attention, and more importantly, all the money. Tesla's funding just dried up. All right, let's fast forward 100 years. Tesla's towers are ancient history, but his core idea, wireless power, is suddenly more relevant than it's ever been. Let's see how today's tech is making this century-old dream feel brand new again, especially when it comes to our cars. So today's version of this is called dynamic wireless charging, or DWC. Instead of trying to use the entire planet as a conductor, the idea is much more focused. Embed resonant coils right into the road. As an EV drives over them, boom, it starts charging, on the move. It's Tesla's concept, just brought down to a local, highway-sized scale. And here's the kicker. This is what makes this whole conversation possible today. You hear wireless and you probably think inefficient, right? Well, modern DWC systems are crazy effective. We're talking 85 to 90% efficiency. That is nearly as good as plugging a physical cable into the wall. That right there is a massive leap forward. And the knock-on effects of this are just huge. I mean, think about it. Range anxiety? Poof, gone. If the roads charge your car, you could get by with a battery that's 50% smaller. That alone cuts the need for critical stuff like cobalt and lithium by 40%. And having to stop to charge? Forget it. You could reduce those stops by 90%. This is way bigger than just convenience. It could totally change the game for EVs. So here's the fun part. What happens if we take Nikola Tesla's huge planet-sized vision and we merge it with today's super efficient road-based charging tech? Well, you get a proposal for a modern-day Tesla grid. Some researchers are calling this idea the Tesla Resonance Network, or TRN for short. It's essentially a hybrid system. You'd have modern versions of Tesla's Wardenclyffe Towers creating these big regional power zones, and those zones would feed a whole network of electrified roads. It's a direct callback, a modern spin on his original world wireless system. And the way it would work is actually pretty elegant when you break it down. You'd have these big transmitter towers creating resonance zones, maybe you're on major supercharger stations. Then you'd have segments of major highways with the inductive coils built in to deliver the power. And finally, the cars themselves would just need a simple resonator on the underbody to automatically pick up the charge. And maybe the biggest selling point? The money. The estimated cost for power on this network could be between 5 and 10 cents per kilowatt hour. For perspective, that's potentially half what we pay now for wired charging. Imagine filling up your car for less without ever having to plug it in. That's a combo that's pretty hard to beat. Of course, it all sounds amazing, right? But an idea this big is, well, it's never that easy. It's a beautiful dream for sure, but now we have to talk about reality and what it would actually take to build this wireless world. So let's just start with the biggest hurdle, the price tag. The estimated initial cost to build out just the first phase of a network like this is $500 billion. Yeah, that is a pretty massive financial wall to climb right out of the gate. And look, the money is just the beginning of the problems. You've got very real questions about public safety and managing electromagnetic fields. Then there's the absolute nightmare of global regulations, trying to get every country to agree on one set of standards. And finally, just think about the logistical insanity of digging up and upgrading thousands and thousands of kilometers of our busiest highways. But there's an interesting twist to all this. There is a strong argument that one person is, maybe, uniquely positioned to actually take on these insane challenges: Elon Musk. I mean, his company doesn't just share the inventor's name, it has the money, it has the existing supercharger network, and, get this, it has recent patents in wireless charging. You just can't ignore that historical connection. So that brings us right here to the final question. 100 years ago, a brilliant, world-changing idea failed because the money ran out and a rival's tech was simpler. Today, the technology has finally caught up, the need for it is bigger than ever, and the company that literally carries Tesla's name is leading the EV revolution. So you have to wonder, is it finally time to finish what Nikola Tesla started?